The Lake Baikal Mystery. A Soviet diver shoots violently toward the surface. Too fast, too uncontrolled, his body jerking upward through the crushing dark water like something fleeing an unseen predator. This wasn't an accident, not a malfunction or a mistake lost in the chaos of the deep. Something down there forced him up, with a precision and power that didn't feel natural. And whatever it was, shouldn't have existed at that depth, where pressure alone can collapse steel and silence anything that dares to linger too long. Lake Baikal, the deepest lake on Earth, ancient and vast beyond comprehension, and possibly the least understood, hiding secrets untouched by time beneath miles of black water. Over 5,000 feet deep, a vertical world where light is swallowed long before reaching the bottom. Near freezing temperatures that numb the body within minutes. Total darkness below, where nothing human should survive. In the early 1980s, Soviet military divers entered these waters on a routine training mission, unaware they were descending into something far from routine. They were elite, hand-picked for their endurance and precision, trained for extreme depths where most would panic, prepared for anything, or at least anything they believed could exist. But nothing in their training covered what they were about to see. Nothing in any manual or briefing that could explain what waited beneath them in the dark. At first, everything was normal. Silence pressed in from all sides. Pressure wrapped around their bodies like a tightening grip. Darkness consumed everything beyond their lights. Then, movement. Subtle at first, almost easy to dismiss as a trick of the eyes or drifting shadows in the deep. Something large, moving below them, not drifting, not falling, rising with intention. Not a fish, not debris, something upright, with a shape that didn't belong in the water. Divers reported figures 8 to 10 feet tall, towering forms that dwarf them in the depths, where size alone becomes something terrifying. Human in shape, but far larger, stronger, built with proportions that felt wrong, exaggerated, as if designed for a world far more hostile than ours. And they weren't wearing any breathing equipment. Nothing that produced bubbles, nothing that suggested reliance on air. No tanks, no masks, nothing that should keep them alive. No visible system supporting life in an environment that kills within seconds. At that depth, survival without protection is impossible. The pressure alone enough to crush lungs, to break the human body from the inside out. But these things moved effortlessly, cutting through the freezing water as if it offered no resistance at all. No struggle, no hesitation, no sign that the crushing pressure or cold had any effect on them. Just watching, hovering in the darkness with a stillness that felt intentional, aware, almost patient. Some described metallic, silver-like suits, surfaces that caught what little light there was and reflected it in unnatural ways. Others mentioned helmet-shaped heads, too large, too smooth, lacking any features that made them feel human or even alive. Then came the order, sharp and immediate, cutting through the tension like a command that couldn't be questioned. Capture one. The directive echoing through the divers' comms with urgency that overrode instinct. A small team moved closer, pushing forward despite the weight of something unseen pressing against their nerves. Too close, crossing an invisible boundary that had never been marked but was clearly there. And then everything changed, the water itself seeming to shift, as if responding to something beyond their understanding. A powerful force hit them, silent, controlled, unstoppable, like being struck by something that didn't need to touch them to exert control. Not an explosion, not a current, nothing chaotic or random in its movement. Something deliberate, precise, as if it had decided exactly what would happen next. The divers were launched toward the surface, bodies ripped upward with terrifying speed through layers of crushing pressure. Too fast for survival, too fast for their bodies to adjust, too fast for any chance of control. The bends set in almost immediately, pain tearing through them as their bodies reacted violently to the sudden change. Some didn't make it, their training and strength meaning nothing against what had just happened. Others survived, but never fully recovered, carrying the damage in their bodies and whatever they saw in their minds. There was no explanation, no official report, nothing that acknowledged what had truly happened beneath the surface. Just stories, repeated again and again, whispered between those who had heard. Always the same details, always the same fear. Because whatever they saw is still down there, untouched, unchanged, waiting in a place no one can reach. In the deepest water on Earth, watching, silent and patient in the darkness, where nothing human was ever meant to go.
Thank you for listening. Please consider subscribing to my channel for more terrifying tales coming weekly. If you enjoyed this story, I have many more available in paperback worldwide on Amazon, Beyond the Campsite and Beyond the Campsite 2, A Trail Too Far.